I have a router bit storage problem. And I don't know if you consider it a sickness as much as a problem, but I have router bits all over my shop. And this has become an issue. I reached out to longtime supporter of the channel, Bits, and they have agreed to help me build a router bit storage cabinet and give away the greatest router bit of all time, the Whiteside double bearing, up-down cut, mega flush trim bit, which is by far my favorite bit I've ever owned. And it would be an awesome way to win. So stay tuned. Later in the video, I'll talk about the contest, and Bits, and we'll give away this router bit. So I'm gonna make this out of cherry, and I'm gonna challenge myself to use one offcut, which is about 2 board feet, to make the whole thing. So let's get started by milling some lumber and getting things sized up. So out of that one board you saw me cut on the table saw, we've got all our pieces. We have our casework, which is book matched, so we can have a grain wrap all the way around. We've got our door and our shelves, as well as our back panel, which is pretty thin. I hope this thing doesn't taco on me overnight, but we will see. It's gonna be important for me that this router bit case can mount on the wall on a French cleat so I can access it easily, but also that I can pull it off and it can lay flat so I can pull bits out of it as needed at different workstations. So I took what I think is my biggest, tallest bit, which is a 1/2-inch spiral upcut beast of a bit called the chip breaker. And I held it up and kind of measured it. And so what we're gonna go with is 25-degree shelves. So we're gonna go ahead and do our casework, which will be dovetailed together. We'll cut our grooves for the shelves with a router, and then we're gonna go ahead and start making our door. So let's get started on the best part, some hand cut joinery. Okay, so now that we have our casework done and our joinery done, it's time to route the grooves for the shelves. And I got a great little trick that I learned from a friend of mine named Dustin Penner. He's got a cool YouTube channel. And it's really, really simple. If you want to route any angle, you just figure out what that angle is, and you make a little jig where you set the angle, and then you can just run your router along it, and it's always gonna cut at that angle. And so what we're gonna do, we're gonna take these 2 pieces of maple, join them together using a pin nailer. I already have my angle set. I'll put some screws through there, and then we'll do a test run, which will leave a groove where the bit cuts, and it'll cut there every single time. So then you can just take the groove and line it up with your lines, and it just makes it so easy. We're gonna be using this 1/2-inch compression bit from Bits. This thing is a beast, and it's really cool because it has a up and down spiral cut, so it leaves a really, really clean finish. And since our bit is 1/2 inch and our stock is already 0.48, we don't want to be taking any more out than we have to. So I just want to make sure that we get a really clean cut. So we're going to go ahead and put this together, and then we're going to route the grooves for our shelves at a 25-degree. So we've got our shelves cut. I left them like I don't know, a 64th long. So once I have everything glued up, I can take a hand plane and just get it perfectly flush. And now it's time to start cutting our holes. Now you don't want to go all the way through because a lot of bits, the cutting part is thinner or the same width as your shank. So I'm gonna actually design a template for you. It'll be over on my website for free. There'll be a link down below. And then we're going to cut them out on the CNC. You could easily drill this out by hand. If you get my template, it'll have center crosshairs on all the circles. So you can easily take an awl and punch all the centers and drill it out, but we have a CNC, so we're gonna take the easy way out here. But head over to my website and pick up that template. You can cut it up any way you want so that it fits with your project. Mine is about 8 1/4 interior measurement, I believe. I'm sorry, 8 1/2. So it'll be based on an 8 1/2 size shelf on the interior, but you can size it however you want and for your needs if you don't have a 1/2 inch collet, for example. So let's get to designing. So while we're designing this and cutting this out on the CNC, I wanted to tell you about the contest we're having for this ultimate flush trim bit and our sponsor, bitsbits.com. Now, bitsbits.com, as many of you know, has been a sponsor of the channel for a long time. It's where I get all my router bits, and Katz-Moses woodworking viewers always get 20% off. That discount code is in the description of every video, and you always get 20% off. They're amazing. They coat their bits in this proprietary coating that helps them last way longer. It's great. I love it. I use them for making all my CNC dovetail alignment boards. The bits last so much longer than they used to. They use whiteside bits and they coat them. They have some of their own bits. They're incredible. These are some of the bits we used today. 3 of these have their coating on them. And then there's this flush trim bit, which we haven't used yet in this video, but we're about to. And this is the greatest router bit I've ever owned. I actually asked Bits to carry this just for you guys, and they did. And this thing, it has removable top and bottom bearings, so you can take both bearings off. You can flush trim anything. The chips that come off this are like no other router bit I've ever used. It's so awesome. And it's the best router bit I own. I baby this thing. I only use it for finish work because I love it so much and I'm so scared to use it, but it really is an amazing thing. It has spiral up, down cut. I route any way I want and I've never had a problem. It's great. So if you want to win this, there's a link to a Gleam page down below and in the pinned comment. If you go to that, fill out a quick little form, you'll be entered. Your privacy is very important to me, so I do not share any of those emails. Just me and Bits will see those. So go ahead and enter the contest with the link below. So let's get back to the build, guys. Okay, so now that we have our shelves all drilled, and man, do they look cool. We're gonna go ahead and put the case together, and so that way we can get working on the door. Remember that template is over on my website for the holes, and you can use as many of the holes or only a few of them or different sections of that template. It's free over on my website. There's a link down below. So let's get this thing put together. Okay, now we have our cabinet glued up and it's looking really good. We're gonna flush trim the shelves so that they match perfectly. We've got our back panel on there. I left it large so we can use that mega flush trim bit to clean it up. We'll probably do the same with the door too. We'll leave the door a little large. We're gonna use the rest of our cherry to create our own little tongue and groove door with a glass panel. Now this glass panel is 3/32 thick, which is the same size as a thin curved saw blade, so that's gonna make our life really easy. And then we're gonna do something super cool with the glass that I've never done before. I'm excited to show you. So let's head over to the table saw and get this done. Okay, so now that we have our glass cut out, we're gonna do something I've always wanted to do that I didn't even know about till like a month ago. It's super cool, is a diamond drag bit. And it's a bit that you run in your CNC at 0 RPMs. It has a little teeny diamond in the edge of it, and it engraves in glass. It engraves in all sorts of things, but it can engrave glass, which is so cool. So hopefully we don't screw this up and shoot glass all over the place, but you'll be with me every step of the way. Let's go see if we can put a couple logos in this door with this glass bit. Okay, so we're just about done. We've got the door drying in the clamp, so we're gonna go ahead and sand everything up, and then we'll attach it with some hinges. I've got some nice Brusso hinges and a Brusso brass pole knob. And we're gonna put the door on and maybe put a magnet on it if it needs it, and get it ready for finish. So let's get to do some sanding. Yay. Wow, guys, this came out so cool. I am so excited about this one. The dovetails look amazing. The glass drag bit, that just is incredible. And just the way this holds my bits, oh my goodness, all of these are from bitsbits.com. Go check them out. There's a 20% discount code down in the description. And of course, there's that Gleam giveaway for the mega flush trim bit, which is my favorite bit in this entire cabinet. Guys, like I always say, being a good woodworker, it's not about being perfect, it's about fixing your mistakes, and man, did I make a lot of mistakes on this one. For starters, a couple of my dovetails, I just was rushing and I cut on, you know, the middle of the line and they had little gaps in them. I clamped this up and then measured for the shells, and the clamps squeezed the case just a little bit. So all my shells came out short, so I had to put little shims in the side of the shells over here. On those angled router guides, I put one on the wrong side of the line down here and completely shot through a dovetail. And so I had to replace that and sort of fix that dovetail and that whole thing. Hey, we all make mistakes. It's about fixing them. Little sawdust and glue fixes most things. Sometimes big mistakes, like I routed on the wrong side of the line. Gluing in a nice tight piece of wood and planing it down, be good to go. So I'm gonna hang this on the wall, and I designed it so that it can be both vertical and horizontal. And I'm just waiting for a latch for the door so it'll stay closed. I ordered it, but it didn't get here in time for the video. So you'll be seeing me use this a lot. I'm really happy. Thank you to BitsBits for supporting this channel for so long, guys. They're great. Stay safe in the shop. If you're new here, please subscribe. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you on the next one.